Oh, this is our studio crowd.
We were just
some
doing a
fans.
thing about. I'm here with Matthew Broussard, ladies and gentlemen. What's the most that you've physically hurt somebody? Because this is not my first question typically, but we're talking about what if you tell a psychologist that you're going to hurt someone, they kind of have to tell that person.
I've intentionally hurt someone?
Have you ever been in a fight?
No. Kind of intentionally. I remember in college, we were all horsing around. There was it was during a hurricane warning, so all these mattresses were down in the cafeteria.
Where'd you go to school?
Rice in Houston.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember I picked up my girlfriend at the time, and I dropped her onto a mattress on the floor.
Okay.
I was like, and it was too thin of a mattress, and she
Okay.
bruised her tailbone. I remember that really, feeling horrible.
Yeah. Have you ever hurt your tailbone?
Yes, I have.
That
too.
sucks.
I jumped up. We were last night of summer camp. We were like 12. We were all jumping off this big, tall thing, cabinet, I don't know, 10, 12 feet high.
Yeah.
And you'd fall, and we stacked 3 mattresses, and you'd fall and land and bounce. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And then the next morning we got up, and there were just 2 mattresses. I'm like, I'll do it again. Big difference. My tailbone was bruised it's the coccyx is the name of
Yeah,
the
that's
bone.
the official, and I think when you actually hurt your tailbone, a doctor would give you like a donut to sit on.
Yeah.
And I've seen people in airports like carrying their donut, because sitting on an airplane for 5 hours would hurt you, and it's just kind of embarrassing.
And there's no brace. There's no you can't put your inner
ass in a brace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like a neck brace. One thing we were talking about before we pressed record was a psychologist legally has to contact someone if you threaten them to kill them, but a priest does also. Is that right?
I don't know if a priest does. I kind of feel like a priest gets more leeway. I think because Tony Soprano or something.
Yeah, because it's a confessional.
It's a confessional.
You know, if anyone out there knows the answer to priests and their responsibilities to the public, email me, michael@michaelkosta.com, and let me know, because I know I got a ton of Catholic followers. I don't. What's your religious makeup background?
Jewish, raised Jewish.
Okay.
My father was basically, I think he was raised Catholic, but he was atheist by the time I came around.
Did he make that evident to you? Did he say that to the family?
Yeah, I mean, he was just and my mom's, my mom's kind of we never were no one explicitly states they believe in God, but we believe in the religion and the culture and the ritual.
Yeah.
So
in the community of the Jewish religion.
Yeah.
Not a lot of comics. Not a lot of comics seem to be into religion.
No, it's a weird. John Ramsey, a comic out of Austin, is a religious guy, and he referred to the policy among comics is you're allowed to be religious, but it's kind of a don't ask, don't tell thing.
Yeah.
Just don't bring it up.
And both your parents were involved in. Is someone a scientist? Is that right?
Yeah, my dad had a PhD in chemistry.
Okay, and your mom?
My mom got a master's in microbiology, cell immunology.
And I think I know this. I know a lot about you because I've watched you roast so much, and your opponent is always taking personal, attributes of everyone and trying to demolish them. Mm-hmm. So, how did you end up being this?
I was just working in finance, and it was my story is the least inspiring. I just my parents
is so uninspiring.
No, but it was just I don't know how other kids are. I've been realizing this a lot lately in LA because kids grow up dreaming.
Yeah.
Maybe I dreamt about doing sports.
Yeah.
But it was pretty evident I wasn't that good at that.
Okay.
Despite so much effort.
Really?
So much.
What sport?
Swimming and running were the two things I was into. I knew I wasn't coordinated, but I knew I could deal with a lot of pain.
Yeah, and that's what those sports
That's what they are. I didn't have the coordination for swimming. I might have had the lungs for it. And then running.
Running seems like you either got it or you don't, right?
Yeah, and it's
you just run.
The good American runner, even on a global scale, to be an Olympian of the best American runners are still 2 minutes slower than the Kenyans, than whatever Bekele and the other one. But I loved sports, and I just didn't. And then it was just so drilled in my head that you're not gonna be an actor or a rock star. Don't even try. They were if you want to do some drawing, we're all about it. We'll send you to art classes. I think I did theater for 1 year in middle school, and I loved it. Immediately, if I had stuck with it, I'm sure I would have been obsessed with it. But then I was in an advanced math class at the time that conflicted with the schedule. So it's I guess I'll do math, and then I never came back to it.
Would you say with your comedy, there's kind of a system, like the way I've seen your stand-up. It's great. I've seen you do a lot more roasting because one of the roast battle on Tuesdays, but also because of your recent success on Comedy Central. It's the second roast battle. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was so awesome. Was it fun, or are you more pissed because you didn't win?
Oh, I was happy. It was, to me, it was
made the finals. Very, very close finals, and just great exposure for you, and just great jokes all the way through to get there. So super fun, yeah.
I was happy with the 3 battles I won. I felt like I did what I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
Against Frank, he had better jokes. The crowd was on his side. I flubbed a joke. But I don't think I embarrassed myself, so I'm fine with it.
Of course not.
I'm really happy with the whole thing. I didn't really care about winning. Getting 4 battles in was really great because I was on every episode, and that's what kind of mattered to me.
It seems like, I mean, what a great way to expose your comedy.
Yeah.
But roasting, and I have so much respect for all you guys that do it so well, it seems like almost like an engineer writing jokes.
I mean, just the most. It makes Twitter seem long form.
Yeah, it does. I mean, some of your really jokes are like 6 words, you know, and it's interesting that your background is either in finance or mathematics, because it seems like maybe that would help.
I do feel like there's only one other comic I know who I can really relate to on this. This guy named Sammy Obeid, and he had the same major I had in college, which is called applied mathematics.
Okay.
It's not that common of a degree. And we both really take where are the punchlines, how do we tighten those, and how do we get to the next punchline quickly? And what structures are you using? How can you vary those structures? In our minds, we see just a very small number of set operations that evoke laughter.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've worked with him a bunch, and it's like, you know.
Lasers.
It's like lasers, and it's like, I'll be sitting in the back of the Comedy Magic Club waiting to go on, and I'll be like, how many fucking jokes does this guy have on this one setup?
Yep.
And he's great, but it is interesting to see, and then someone like Louis, who is doing like a long story, or it's just so interesting to see the different styles of comedy. And does your stand-up follow the similar path, would you say, or theme as roasting does for you?
No, stand-up is a lot more free, and it's so much harder to write as a result, because like what do I even talk about, and like do with the roasting. Here's the thing that I love about roasting. I don't like being mean to people.
Yeah.
I mean, roasting's fun because they're game and they're down to they've consented to being humiliated. But the thing I love about it is there's so many times with my joke writing, like I'll put something on Twitter or Facebook, it does well. I try it on stage, and it's too much of a joke.
Yeah.
It's too much. Yeah. You can see it. It's like it's a Laffy Taffy joke. His uncle, instead of a laugh, you get from the crowd.
Yeah.
With roasting, there's none of that.
Yeah.
The more formulaic, the more obvious the joke structure, the more they're into it. So it's indulgent in that respect.
It seems very clear, like this was written, and you clap for how smart it is.
Yeah.
And then stand-up, they almost want to just get to know you more. Yeah.
See, stand-up's that weird, I don't know if you feel this, but it's a weird balance between like, I wanna say a joke, but I want it to barely be a joke.
Yeah.
And you're constantly like, well, that's not enough of a joke because no one laughed. Well, that's too much of a joke. Yeah.
Or like, I know with me, what's been happening is I'll be like, man, I'm making a really great point.
Yeah.
But no one is laughing. Yeah. It's like, am I lecturing? You know, that's what always made me mad about Carlin. And I know not every comic agrees with me.
And Hicks.
And Hicks. Sure, it's like, man, okay, thanks, Professor. I haven't laughed yet.
Yes.
And that's where like Steve Martin came out of the Carlin era. It was like, all I'm doing is laughing. I don't really know if we're saying anything societally, but who inspires you comedically in the past, present?
Carlin.
Yeah?
Carlin was the early one. I guess I can admit it now, really love Tosh, still love Tosh.
Sure.
It was a big inspiration. It was the thing I said about John Mayer at the roast is it was from the heart of like, it's hard to
You used to listen to John Mayer in college, and he would always do these like kind of jokes before some of his songs.
He'd riff between songs. And he actually tried stand-up, and it was cool because he's like aware of how he's perceived, and he's the kind of guy where if he talks honestly about his life, it sounds like he's bragging.
Sure.
So instead of like trying to be like, oh, it's kind of hard for me, guy, he kind of owns it, and he's just like, okay, I'm a douchebag, let's accept that.
Yeah.
And then the deprecation becomes about that.
Yeah.
So he finds a way to be self-deprecating in an original way, and I always found that cool. Tosh does it. Jeselnik does it to some extent, though behind a persona. So those guys are cool. I love Mulaney. I love Kinane. I love Hannibal.
Okay. How does
and Bill Burr and CK.
Yep. How does so many of the roast jokes about you are the image, right? How does that play into how you roast battle someone? You know they're going to come at you that way, right?
Yes, defensive tactics and kind of own it.
Defensive tactics.
There was a joke I didn't do against Frank, but I really wish I had. I guess it was Frank looks like the reason I didn't get into Princeton.
Yeah, right.
And it takes shots at both, and it's almost cheating in roast battling to just I know that about me. Like Mike Lawrence did a joke of like, I look like a date rapist, but you look like an actual rapist.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's the old Eminem 8 Mile.
Exactly.
I'm gonna fucking tell you how shitty I am, and then you have no material.
Disarms.
Where did you grow up?
A couple different places. High school, Atlanta.
Okay.
So I was much younger, Corpus Christi, and then Atlanta.
Corpus Christi?
Yeah, my dad worked in chemicals.
Yeah, okay, chemicals. And when is your birthday?
April 6th, 1988.
Oh, he gave me the year, ladies and gentlemen. We know his age. We know his full age. We can update his Wikipedia page. I don't know. You don't have to do the but how was that birthday growing up? Big family, small family?
Small family.
April 6th?
One brother, yeah.
What'd you say? Okay.
April 6th.
One brother.
It's nice. It's like not near any major holidays. It's in the spring.
When's your brother's birthday?
May 8th.
Okay. So
5 years earlier.
Yeah, okay. You guys get along?
Very well.
And what does he do?
He is a mechanical engineer in Florida.
Jesus Christ, huh?
Smart guy, yeah. Great guy.
I believe he's a great guy, but it's just interesting that you're in this total creative art form, and the rest of your family seems like they use numbers every day.
Yeah.
But maybe you do too, to write jokes.
No.
What is a worse birthday you've had in your life?
My first year in LA, so I guess 2014. I guess I was turning 26.
Okay.
And I had been fired from my job.
Which was what?
I was an analyst, and I moved out to LA and basically had worked out a deal to keep my job remotely and kind of blew it really early.
And what was this was you were in Atlanta?
This is from Houston.
In Houston, okay, so after college.
After college, stuck around Houston, worked as an analyst. That's where I started doing open mics, and I moved out to LA really, really fast.
Yeah.
I was like 2 years in.
Did you feel like you needed to be out in one of the coasts because you wanted to pursue this job instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got a break early on. It sounds so douchey saying this. I got on one of the premium blend show at Adam Blend's house party.
Yep.
And I was like a year and a half in because they didn't know. So I was like, well, I guess I should just go for it. Thinking like, I guess I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's never a good time you never wake up and go, today's the day I'm moving to New York.
Yep.
And so, and I always say this, like people that move to LA and kind of go 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it doesn't work.
No.
People that come in from San Francisco and they're like, I'm going to check out 3 months here, and then it doesn't fucking work. And whatever it takes to get you to fully go, if it's Adam Devine's house party, it's like it's good. Because it makes you dive all the way in.
Yeah.
And even though you think maybe you know about the industry and you don't because you're only a year and a half in, but now you're here and you learn it. So was that scary as hell to move, or were you stoked?
I wasn't scared because I had my job. I had the stability of a solid salary and the ability to just go out at night and work and just do whatever.
Yeah.
But then suddenly having that to be my whole thing was just like, I'm not ready for this. I don't know if I'm good enough for this.
So how'd you lose the job? What happened? You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
I can't. I guess I said it on stage. Basically, something happened with because I did something. I was fairly irresponsible, and some stuff was compromised. My work computer got stolen, and it was a fiasco. And it wasn't just that. My boss was a wonderful, wonderful guy, and it was during an audit that I was supposed to be in charge of and dropping the ball on, and it was already and it was
audit's a scary word.
Audit's a scary word.
Yeah,
it was our first ever, and I was supposed to be.
Oh shit!
I don't want to. He's a great guy. I don't want
to. But the bottom line is this: when you're working in analytics and you lose your computer or it gets stolen, there's some serious repercussions.
Serious. No one's information. The odds of anyone's information being compromised, then getting on the computer and realizing that there's information on, and to be able to use it.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. We just changed passwords, but.
We
had to tell. We were legally required to tell all of our clients that Matthew.
Oh
fuck the guy who gets your emails wrong sometimes. Yeah, he just compromised your nest egg.
Oh shit, that's scary. Was that is this the worst? Is this a birthday?
This was leading up. This was the months before.
Okay.
And then I guess I was living in LA, no job, didn't have stuff to do most days, had some money I was living off of that I'd saved up, and I was starting to do colleges at a very low rate, so I was bombing, driving around the Northeast.
Right.
And I think I was like
that's good though that you're getting colleges.
It was lucky, but once again felt like what am I?
Did you get a NACA or you had a?
I got a NACA. Okay. That was the saving grace. It was like shortly after losing my job, I got, I think, nationals in like Northeast or something.
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, NACA, I don't know what the fucking thing stands for, but
National Association of Campus Activities.
there we go. Of course, Matthew knows. But it's like a showcase for all the colleges, and they're hard to get. And if you get them and you do well, they can fill up your entire calendar.
Your
with,
salary.
You know, with you can make a lot of money doing colleges. Did you enjoy doing colleges?
I still do.
You still do them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was how I started building my hour. That was the first time I got long sets.
Okay. And you were closer to their age.
I was,
right?
yeah.
Because I find now when I go to colleges, it's like, you know, can I talk about getting drunk and fingering a chick on the dance floor? Like, that's what maybe they want to hear, but I don't really, that's not who I am right now. I don't know. And I'm sure you can talk about fingering girls on the dance floor. What am I talking about? So colleges, you got fired from your job. That must have sucked. Did anyone find the computer?
No.
It's gone.
It was.
What if I had it right now? What if that was my big reveal?
I just hate knowing it's still out there.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
No, yeah.
It's wiped. Somebody fucking wiped it, or
it was.
whatever.
It was a dinky Microsoft Surface. Okay. And I lost other stuff with that too, which was a bummer. Some personal.
Okay.
Stuff I would have liked to have kept, but it was basically that was in October, and then April I was doing these colleges. It was lonely. I didn't have anyone in LA yet, and I was gone. I had no respect in LA.
Yeah.
No place I go. I was doing open mics and would continue to for a long time.
Where were you living?
Where I am now, West Hollywood.
Okay, that's a good landing spot at first. Yeah.
Because that was my thing. Was like, oh, I'm between the three clubs. I'll get past it all of them within 6 months, and then just be doing spots there. And I'm still like,
yeah. And so you're kind of floating, and that first year in LA is really tough.
It's everyone told me it was going to be hard, and I can't believe I dismissed it.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
I was not prepared.
Yeah.
First two, really.
I think looking back now, for me, I didn't realize how bad it sucked. But at the time, I was like, okay, I'm still here and like in the mix. But you just feel so insignificant.
Yeah. Where were you coming from?
I came from Michigan, where you can feel very significant. You know, it's a smaller market, and you can move up pretty fast. But
Ann Arbor?
Ann Arbor is where I'm from originally. Yeah.
And you went to school there?
I went to school at University of Illinois, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I played tennis at Illinois. But moving. Did you have a roommate, or you by yourself, or what?
I had like two roommates.
Okay. Did you like your roommates?
They were fine.
Okay.
They weren't my buddies at that point.
Really? Were they comics?
No, two Russians.
Oh, fuck. It's just so. Looking back on it, it's just everything is set up to make you feel bad, right? You have no real people in your life.
Yeah. It was it was a day I was flying back. I was gone. I was far away, and I remember. I might have talked to my brother, the girl I was dating at the time, and I thought it was more serious than it was. Didn't call me or acknowledge me.
Really?
Yeah, and I was bummed.
On your fucking
And then my
birthday?
mom forgot to call me.
What?
Yeah, and my dad, I think my mom and my dad forgot to call me that day.
Okay.
And I remember just being like, this is the worst
This
birthday
is the
I've
worst
ever had.
What does your family do for birthdays typically? Like growing up, were they made a big deal?
No, but there's definitely a call and a card.
Right.
I just found, my father passed in December. I just found last night.
I'm sorry to hear that.
A note from, and my dad, at that point in my life, my dad had just gotten in. He had just broken his hip and had just moved into like a home, which was a huge.
Your father, he had
Parkinson's for many years, and that was when things got bad. That was when he wasn't like the functional person he was. He was the old man in the house.
So I'm sorry to keep bringing up your roast battle because we have other stuff to talk about, but this is so interesting because I heard from the roast battle that your father passed recently. I never know what's fucking real, what isn't real. Mm-hmm. How is it look, it's one thing if they make fun of your hair and your bone structure and the sweater you're wearing, but when it's something as personal as you're losing your father, who I feel like you cared about and loved, I mean, how do you handle that? Or is it just, these are all jokes and you don't take it personally?
I'm strangely removed. My request to any comic battling me was, if you're going to do a joke about my father, I'm fine with that. I've come to terms with that. I've tried to write about it already.
Yeah.
Make it more about me than him, because his brothers, his wife, his family is going to be watching, and I'd hate. He can't defend himself. Yeah. So that was my only thing, and what was fun was.
Were comics cool when you told them that?
Yeah.
That seems like a fair request.
That's always the rule. We usually say that about your girlfriend, of like, if you're going to insult my girlfriend, don't call her like fat.
Like that's
hairy or something.
Don't call my girlfriend hairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so. It's also just wouldn't be a good joke if I'm making fun of your, something that would hurt your dad's like brother or something.
Yeah. I liked Zach's joke about me, or at least the setup. It was something of like, your father died in December, and you're standing here smiling. You're a hollow shell of a person. I remember on stage, I was like, that's a good angle.
Yeah, that's a good angle.
That stings a little, and I like that.
Yeah.
It was funny, as I had a rebuttal plan because I figured he'd go after that.
Yeah.
And it was my closing joke, and I think it sealed that round. And
was that the Olive Garden one?
Yeah.
That is. Can you tell me the joke? Do you remember it?
He did something about my father. I can't remember what the punchline was. I said, yes, my father died of Parkinson's, but your mother is alive and works at Olive Garden. At least when his hands were shaking, it wasn't to sprinkle Parmesan.
Yes. I remember sitting on my couch watching that, laughing. I actually rewound it just to hear it again, which is such a great sign, because I was like, wow, it made sense. It was relevant, and it was just like a great image. Plus, as someone that was just in Winnipeg who ate at Olive Garden twice, it is such a sad place, Olive Garden.
It really is.
To pull up that image and associate it with your opponent is perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's overall the harmless joke, though. I don't think it's that. I mean, like, oh, she sprinkles Parmesan. I'm not calling her like a horrible name.
Yeah. That's fun.
But what was fun was after that, no one else did a Parkinson's joke about my father.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they didn't want to, or if it was like he's got something planned. And I had stuff planned every round if people were going to go after it. But.
Man, it just would be tough to see. The roast to me is so fun to watch, but it is so mean, and you're not a mean person. But like we've talked about that previously. So, you're flying back. You hadn't even heard from your dad at this point, right?
Yeah.
And your mom didn't call. What the fuck happened? What's up with them?
It was just a lonely. They just spaced. It wasn't like the worst. It was. They were very apologetic the next day, and nothing bad happened, but nothing happened.
Yeah,
and
nothing happened.
It was a birthday where I was probably the most alone I've ever felt.
And you're kind of already feeling insignificant when I know for me, sometimes you go on the road and they love you and they're taking pictures, blah, blah, and then you fly to LA and it's like back to the black hole.
Yep.
Where you're like so.
Or it's like, it was weird for me of like, I'm making a living wage doing comedy, yet I walk into the Comedy Store and no one acknowledges me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had this, maybe this is too industry to talk about, but I had a lot of successes of just like getting offers from like E! Or MTV and booking college shows. So I was paying my bills with no respect in the LA community.
Sure.
And it took the industry side happened faster than me than like.
Right, like you're getting someone's offering you a commercial audition or a commercial spot, yet the stand-up comedy world sees you, doesn't even see you. They look through you. Yeah. I mean, that's based on the look and the image, sadly. But it's almost.
Did you feel that?
Yeah, for sure you feel that. And I just think stand-up respect comes so slow. It just
there's no way to fast track it.
You can't fast track it. If you fast track it, you've slow track it.
Yep.
Because they're like, this guy's fucking just a marketer.
Yep.
And I definitely felt still, but at times starting out, I felt like if I had to promote better, they would think I'm funnier, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
The only way they can make you think you're funny is if you're funny over a long period of time.
And live, in person, in the room with them killing.
And they have to see you, and normally when someone gets on stage that you don't know, you normally leave the stage. You don't, I'm not going to watch this person, so... But that's where the roast battle's been awesome for you. It's getting new eyes on you. Yeah.
And it's like you said, a lot of comics don't want to do it, but they love to watch it because it's so much more interesting than stand up.
Yeah. It's like watching surgery to me. It's like watching comedy surgery.
Yeah.
What about you make these sculptures?
Yeah.
What do you even call this? Making sculptures?
Sculpting.
Sculpting.
Yeah. It's polymer clay. It's called Sculpey. You can buy it at Michael's. It comes in different colors.
Yeah.
It's the texture of Play-Doh, and you can make whatever you want and put it in the oven for like 10 minutes, and it hardens.
The kiln? Do you mean the kiln?
No,
I don't know. You mean the oven?
Kilns are like thousands of degrees or something crazy. Oven, you can literally just dip this in boiling water and it hardens. It's a really useful stuff.
And how often are you sculpting?
Slowly but constantly. The projects I'm working on right now, I have 3 that are 90% done. The last 10% is the hardest part, and it's been a while since I finished anything.
What do you mean projects you're working on? Has someone
sculptures.
hired you to make this? Or
no, I do it all right. There's no reason to do this.
Yeah.
I just need one thing in my life that I don't have to be doing to be happy. The second someone paid me to do this, I'd be like, I'm done. Like even with stand-up now, I don't take it as seriously now that it's like my thing.
It's like your thing. People, it's a wage. It's your wage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. So this is a way to free your mind kind of from comedy a little bit, or is it?
It's something that I can take satisfaction in that doesn't require the approval of others.
Yeah. And comics are thinking like, hey, you could probably turn that into like an animation thing and make it. But do you want to turn that into comedy, or do you prefer it being a separate thing?
I like it separate. I've done my comic strip thing I do. That's become infused with my comedy.
Where can we find that?
MondayPunday.com.
Yep. Okay.
Have you seen those?
I haven't seen them yet. I was looking at your sculptures because that was like. I always have such a fascination with drawing. I've always wanted to be good at drawing, but it's almost like how you describe sports.
I disagree. I disagree so much.
Tell me, please, convince me otherwise.
I was decent at doodling. I draw a new comic every Monday. Okay. I am so much better than I was just because I have to, of like certain things like I need to draw Ryan Reynolds. I need it to look like Ryan Reynolds. And you do it 10 times. On the 10th time,
are most of your comics about Ryan Reynolds?
Or Gosling, yes. Okay. Or Lochte.
So you would... Well, how can I not be terrible at drawing or doodling? How did you do it?
Start cartooning. I mean, for me, the comics I draw, they're visual puns.
Yeah.
So I'll need to draw a caveman sculpting a vase, and then you'd look at it and you try to guess that it was a Harry Potter.
Okay.
So it's things like that. One of those every Monday, and it requires me to draw a lot of very random, weird things, and it's just. I used to be, well, how do you draw a bear? And then I go on Google Images and I look at how different people draw bears, and I take the elements I like and then find my own way of drawing a bear. And now you can ask me to draw a bear. I can do it.
Are you left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed, huh?
Are you left-handed?
I'm not, but I just saw you, mimicking left-handed, and I'm like, well, if you're left-handed, that's why you can draw, because you're more creative. But I don't even know if that's a real thing. But it
sounds.
Well, it seems like
something left-handed people made up.
Lefties I always seem are more creative, but that I have no idea if that's true.
Is that a big thing in tennis? Like, if someone's left-handed, people know.
If someone's left-handed, they're much better at tennis. Like
pitching.
It's like pitching. Like I always said, if I was left-handed, I'd still be playing tennis. I was a high level.
You're 400th in the world.
I was 800 in singles. I was 400 in doubles, around those numbers.
That's amazing.
Thank you. If you're left-handed, you're just more sought out. You're harder to beat.
Yeah.
It's just you see it less, and you are able to train against it less. Yeah. So I don't know what the equivalent is in comedy of a left-handed. Maybe it's like having a little bit of Asperger's or something. I don't know.
Or a weird speech impediment.
Yeah, like you have a unique hook that no one else can mimic. A weird voice.
Maria Bamford's voice is such an asset. She's a writer and a performer on top of that. But like, if you immediately walk out and you're talking like you have that, you're like, oh yeah, you're fun. Or Mary Mack, it's just gonna be.
And it was probably harder for them at the beginning because they had, I don't know. I mean, but it's something that's so unique to them.
Yeah. I would think the hard part of that would be. You don't need to write anything substantial. People are just going to laugh at you based on your pacing and intonation.
Sure.
And then on top of that, of actually like a good impressionist.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times they can just sit on their impressions and never write anything from the heart.
If they're just if Jack Nicholson is just ordering deli meat, it's funny, but it's like but that's what it always is. It's always like, what if he's at the DMV and you are laughing at the impression? I think the best impressionists are also writing a good joke. I think, although. You don't see a lot of impressionists anymore, do you?
I do, but Adomian is like one of those guys who doesn't need to do impressions, but he can.
I just saw him recently, and he did an impression of Matt Bronger.
Yep.
Like it's like the most specific inside stand-up, and I'm like, and I went on stage after him. I was like, I'd love to see him do that anywhere else, but he wouldn't. He would do an impression of somebody else there that was relevant. He's a very, very funny dude. Did anybody sing you happy birthday that day? Probably not.
No,
Did you get any gifts?
Maybe a hug from no.
What happened to this fucking chick you were dating that just totally ghosted your ass?
No, that was my fault. She was great.
Tell me about it.
It was we had like a history, and then we were both in LA, and we were like kind of seeing each other. I still don't know what it really was, and I was kind of avoiding any kind of commitment. And then when I finally came around, I was like, wait, I should lock this in.
Yeah.
She was, I guess, already done with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which maybe she was never interested in me seriously, but by the time I actually was like somewhat, she was with someone else, and
okay.
I'm very happy for her. She's a lovely, lovely person.
You look really happy. We're doing videos, so people can see into your
really?
eyes. Yeah, right.
Where is it?
Right
hey.
Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, I thought I told you that.
You did,
Okay.
But I spaced till now.
When you moved, I want to talk more about you moving to LA because I find it fascinating for how difficult it is to move. Did you have a car?
I did.
Did you have a little bit of money? It sounds like you'd saved some.
Saved up a bit.
How did you save money? I think a lot of young comics need to hear this part of the stand-up comedy.
This is, to me, the most important part, the part that people don't talk about enough.
Correct.
I had a decent job. I was making more or less.
This was the analytic job.
Yeah, but it wasn't what people think. I was making a teacher's salary, roughly, which is plenty to get by on in Houston.
Sure.
And for some reason, as soon as I finished college, I had this weird thing in my mind of you should be saving violently, aggressively.
Yeah.
And I was, and it wasn't. I wasn't even. I didn't even do comedy at that point. I think it was like doing triathlons really seriously at that point.
Wow.
So saving money for
the only thing that you can make less money in than stand-up comedy, triathlons.
It's expensive too. It's
I'm
a consumer
Bikes.
sport.
The bike, right?
It's the whole, everything. $60 socks.
What?
They convince you need all of it. $100 fitting, bike shoes, running shoes,
right.
triathlon shoes, all the coaching. It's a money suck. It makes golf look like a proletariat sport.
That's funny. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought the bike.
Such an extreme.
Yeah.
Oh, the swimsuits you have to wear. It's the water's under this temperature, so you wear a polyurethane suit where it's not legal. So you need 2 suits that are each hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Oh, but you don't. I mean,
you don't need it.
Yeah, but it's going to help your time.
It's going to help a little bit. I was at the advantage of the funny part about doing it. I was 22. I was probably more built to run.
Yeah.
But I'd done swimming for years. When it came to triathlon, I'm set. I built the swimming up.
Yep.
My weakness, and I'm naturally a runner, so it all came fairly easily. I was like, I'm really good at this, and I got sponsored, and I got free races and stuff.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I'm the only guy in his 20s. This is all middle-aged men trying to spend less time with their families.
Right. And you're like, you have youth on your side.
Yeah. And most people a lot of people get into triathlon. We're never athletes, and this is their first taste of it.
Yeah. And it's got to be such a mental challenge.
It's more, the mental challenges of just you have to put in 15 hours a week of training, and you're just I'm giving up my social life. I'm exhausted at work.
Yep.
For what? And for a year, I was like, for everything. This is this is the first.
You're 22
doing this? 22, and
okay.
it was the first time I was like, I'm actually winning something.
Yeah.
Swimming, I was always bad despite working so hard at running. I hadn't given a good go.
Yeah.
And then this is maybe secretly I was an athlete this whole time.
Right.
And I wasn't a bad triathlete, but I wasn't worth
So you're 22 doing triathlons, living in Houston.
Yeah.
But
going through a breakup.
Okay.
It was really lonely.
And there's still a part in your brain saying save money.
Save money.
You don't really know why yet.
Didn't know why. Yeah.
Were you writing jokes at this point?
No.
Were you always sculpting at this?
I was always sculpting.
Always sculpting. Okay.
I had started doing Monday Punday. I had started doing my webcomic for coworkers. Just in and of itself, it was just fun. No intentions.
Okay. And did you see cartoons as a kid? What was the seed in your brain that was comedy is starting to sprout? What made that happen for you? Was it someone's stand-up set? Was it the fucking Sunday comics? What was it?
It was I love stand-up, but like I said, my parents never let me dream. They never told me that it was a possibility. I didn't know how people started stand-up. It wasn't it was just don't even consider that you're going to be a rock star. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, right.
It's just not. You're
a
Jewish kid from the suburbs.
Yeah, come on.
No.
Yeah, right.
And you're good at math. Just do that. And I wasn't I was like, yeah, that's reasonable. I'll be an engineer.
Yeah.
I like math. I was doing triathlon. I was so lonely. I was going with still not over this breakup, and I was just I'm gonna just say yes to everything my friends asked me to do and see if that gets me out of this. I ended up seeing Donald Glover.
Sure.
April 2011, and he does. I'd seen his stand-up before. I loved it on YouTube and stuff. And he goes up there and he does stand-up. I realized it was the first time I'd seen stand-up live, and his command of the audience.
Sure.
I was I don't remember a single joke. I remember he was just so comfortable.
Presence.
It was it was later I learned it was presence, and I was just I was obsessed with it. I couldn't figure out why I loved it so much. Do I want to be a rapper? Do I want to be a musician? Do I want to? And
do I want to be Donald Glover?
Do I want to be Donald Glover? I still want to be Donald Glover.
Sure.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And that was I think within 2 months of that, I was doing stand-up. I think I listened to some podcasts, talked to some people how to get started, and it suddenly hit me of that's what I need to do. And I had no.
Yeah.
I had the idea that maybe I would be okay at it because I had done a talent show in college where instead of a talent, I was forced into it. So I had to just say here's 10 things I'll miss about rice. And I did that and they got laughs. And I remember it was the warmest, most wonderful feeling I'd ever felt. And I didn't know what it was. And it took a year to realize that was stand-up you did.
Yeah.
So
you did stand-up.
Yeah. And then I dove in.
And then you dove in. Yeah, that's very interesting to me. That what seeing Donald Glover and then okay, sorry, this is how we got here. Saving money. So
saving money. Sorry.
You're a triathlete. No, This is good.
I want to talk to you about sports before we're done, though.
Okay, it's not your podcast. No, it's my podcast. So you're working as an analytics, and you're saving money.
Yeah. And
you think it's to maybe move to LA at some point, or that's not even a thing yet?
Not yet. When I started doing stand-up, it was like, this is money for comedy. Because that's even to this day of like, oh, I have some money saved up, put it right back into comedy. Take acting classes, go on the road and do a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Not every young comic out there is going to have the same job you had or whatever. Is not going to be as easy for them to save money, but it does help your comedy if you can save fucking money.
Absolutely. Money is freedom. Freedom is more, you can be a better, I hate to say the word, but artist. Yeah,
and it's easy to like go like, I'm an artist. I only go to coffee shops. I'm not going to fucking save money. I don't want to sell T-shirts on the road or whatever the fuck it is. When you have money, you can then have the more creative freedom. And it's not like just focus on money, but I think too many comics don't save money.
Yeah.
Now they end up working 2 jobs. They're too tired. They can't go out at night or whatever.
Exactly. And a good day job. That's another thing I was not just saving, but like a good 9 to 5. People are like 9 to 5. You're not. Like 9 to 5 is the best. My schedule in Houston when I had that job, I'd finish work, go for a quick swim, and then just hit mics till midnight.
And then you could still get decent sleep and
still get decent sleep. Yeah. And then during lunch breaks or when my bosses walked out, I could just like scribble down some jokes. And you write a lot when you only have like 10 minutes to write.
I know, it's amazing.
You write so much better. I have all day to write. Pen never touches paper.
I look back on old writing journals and I was like so busy coaching tennis and all this shit, and I was like, I wrote so many more jokes back then.
Yep.
Now I fucking wake up and the day's over and I'm like, what did I do? I couldn't even walk to the mail box today. Yeah.
I thought of a tag that's not going to work, or I'm probably too afraid to try.
Where can everyone find you? Is it Monday Punday?
Monday Punday.
Okay.
And then on
and you
Twitter
didn't
and Instagram.
You didn't go with your name for a website either, huh?
Well, the websites I posted every Monday.
Yeah.
And it's a pun every Monday, so I started that.
But I'm saying your name, like that Matthew. You couldn't. Was your name available on the World Wide Web?
It's too long. Yeah. I mean, I still could make a website, but I had Monday Punday, and then I was just like, I'll just lock those down for Instagram and Twitter as handles.
Yeah, got it.
And then I just started using them, and now I don't want to switch. Yeah. I should, but
no.
And you own MichaelKosta.com?
I own MichaelKosta.com, but I was in on it early, folks.
Oh, and MatthewBroussard.com is taken by
it is? Who
ironically
is it?
A sculptor, a really
Are
good sculptor.
Are you fucking serious? You guys should buddy up.
He's
How many Monday Punday cartoons? Is that? I feel like that's a silly.
Sure.
Okay. How many of those do you already have done and like banked?
Online, there's 321 as of today.
And what about like? Do you have next Mondays figured out?
30. Around 30.
Really?
Are queued up. I just queued them up, and then.
And when do you do those? How long do they take?
I mean, they're fairly quick whenever I get around to it. Luckily, I have no schedule. It's just like today I might bang out 4 and then not do any for 3 weeks.
So what's today's? Do you remember what today's in? I should have looked.
Yeah, I won't say the answer.
Okay.
I can't describe it without saying the answer.
I see. Okay. All right. Is it unlimited?
What do you mean?
Is there an unlimited material source for you?
No.
Eventually,
it's
you're
finite. I'm always afraid of a year away from running out, and I still think I might be. But now I have strategies of I'll change the types of puzzles, and I'm working on pitching a TV show surrounding it. So hopefully we'll be able to maybe hire writers, and I won't have to do it by myself.
Do you make any money to place second at the roast battle?
Yes,
you do.
I believe so.
Good.
Yeah, a good chunk of change. Yeah.
Okay, good, because I know the winner got like 25 grand, and I was like, don't tell me the second place gets nothing, because that would really piss me off.
Yeah, I think that was the first season, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want to thank you for sharing your worst birthday. Before we leave, can you think of a great birthday you've had?
Oh man.
And you may, what did you do? What month are we in? February. Oh, so it's coming up. What are you going to do coming up? You think?
I'm gonna be on the road.
You are? Where are you going to be?
Oh, Albany.
Okay.
A comedy club in Albany. And
will that be a good birthday to be working?
It'll be lonely. I'll be away from my girlfriend, which is a bummer.
It's a lot of lonely in your life.
A lot of lonely. I kind of deal with it a little too well. I feel like I enjoy solitude.
Yeah. Is it one of those things where you're lonely, but you kind of like it, but you complain about it, or no?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
I feel less lonely than I should.
You have good stuff to do alone. You sculpt.
Yes.
You draw. Those are good alone things.
Drawing is really. Sadly I can't bring sculpture on the clay on the road. But
why not?
Because I check bags and it's a liquid gel aerosol. Yeah, and I would need to. It would break. I would have no way of transporting it.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I love when I'm in a random city of just going to a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And just drinking coffee all day and just drawing.
That's cool. That's why I would like to draw.
And exercising.
How can I quickly learn to draw?
Just do it a lot.
Just draw and just study and do it.
Just to say what you want to draw and then draw it. And then just look at, you have Google image search. Is all you need. Someone's done it for you.
Yeah. I want to learn how to draw. I would love to do that. MondayPunday.com.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your worst birthday.
Thank you so
Congratulations on second place finish. Are you going to do the Roast Battle 3 when it comes out? What do you think?
I've done it 3 times. I've done the bracket. I'm the only person who's done the bracket every time. So I've done it 3 times now.
That's a lot.
It's stressful. It's a lot of work. It is really rewarding, though. So maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Thank you very much. Happy worst birthday. We did it. That was great.
It's worth that.